everyone, welcome back to my channel, sharoncullenart. Excuse my eyeball. If you didn't hear the last video, I have an infection in my eye. It is slowly healing. It's been going on since the middle of last week, so I'm about 5-6 days in, and it is improving, so I'm happy about that. But you get one good side and one bad side. It's like that Jekyll and Hyde kind of a costume thing. But anyway, as you can see by the title, today's video is all about you. It's all about Christmas gifts that you can ask for this Christmas, or holiday gifts if you do not celebrate Christmas. I'm going to show you some things that I really like, and I'm going to start with some inexpensive gifts that could be great stocking stuffers. The first one is this pen that I had bought recently and told you about. I will put the name right down here, and all of my links will be in the description. But this, I think I got it on Jet Pens, and it is a pen that holds an ink refill that is archival. So if you like to do sketching, pen sketching, this is archival. And so this pen is very, very cheap. It's just a plastic cheap pen, and you can go more expensive, but this was very inexpensive. The ink is archival, so you will have no problem using it and don't have to worry about your ink fading over time. The next thing was a mechanical pencil that I bought on Amazon, and it is brass. It was not very expensive. It's a heavier weight pencil. It's a little bit on the thicker side. Let me get a regulation pencil here. I can show you the thickness. There's a pencil, and then this is the actual brass pencil. So it's thicker than your regulation pencil, but it's not too bulky. So if you like a little bit thicker substance to hold on to, then this is great. And you can pop off the top, I think, and there's an eraser in the, yes. Then there, you can fit erasers in the top of it. So, and then it just pushes down to advance the pencil lead. So this is also a very nice thing. You can buy different weight pencils. I think it was a 0.5. This is a Kaweco special, yeah, 0.5. So this is by Kaweco, which I love, Kaweco. Which brings me to my next item on the list, the Kaweco Sport pens. Now, if you are a fountain pen person and love fountain pens like I love fountain pens, you can get these in different metal forms. You can get them in brass. You can get them in this silvery color, which is, I think this one's called aluminum. And then you can buy the pencil or the little pocket holder things separately, and I like the silver and gold look, so I bought them. But these lengthen by putting this on the bottom, and then you get enough length in your hand. They are a shorter pen. They're not very heavy, and I think these are extra fine tip. I think you can get them in different tips. You can get them in fine and extra fine, I believe, and then you'll probably want ink to put them in, or to put in it. And the ink that is my go-to ink is platinum carbon ink. Now, some people will say, oh, don't ever put carbon ink in your pens. That is where I started. I'm sorry, I just shook my camera. This is where I started, and I was one of those people who said never, ever put carbon ink in your pens because it can clog your pens up. Now, these are inexpensive pens, so I'm not real worried about it. If I had to buy a new nib, it wouldn't cost me much money, but I would not use carbon ink in a $100 or higher pen. But I have it in brown and black, and sometimes I mix the two colors together, but they're very nice to have. And I've been working out of these bottles for years, but I don't do pen sketching every day. So platinum carbon ink for me is the way to go because it dries quicker than Noodles ink, which is another ink that I have. Lexington gray is an awesome Noodles ink color. You can get them in different ones, but you want to make sure you get bulletproof, which means that they are waterproof. The problem is it depends on the paper you're using. the weight, or not the weight of the paper, the sizing in the paper can make a difference on how fast your ink is going to dry. Platinum carbon ink overall dries very quickly, which is why I like it. But the carbon particles can clog up a fountain pen. So if you're one who uses a fountain pen like every now and then, I would suggest when you're done using your pen, you go ahead and squirt the ink back into the bottle and then flush out your pen with water. You suck the water right up into the cartridge and then empty it out again. Take it apart, let all the pieces dry, and that will solve your problem with clogging. But I leave ink in my pens all the time, and then if I do get a little bit of a clog, I just soak the nib in some warm water and it clears right out. So it's not a big deal. Now, if you are not a fountain pen user, my next pen of choice would be the Kaweco Sport ballpoint, which is an awesome pen as well. Now, it's got the push button top, and mine match. The only thing is that it is very short. Now, I have fairly big hands for a woman, so when I'm writing, this will sit right in the crook of my hand. I just keep them in one of my boxes, and I didn't buy them together or anything, but I will link those down below. Those are the Kaweco Sport pens, fairly inexpensive. Now, the next item on the list is something that I reviewed recently, and it is the Derwent Graphitint pan set. I think they work a little bit better than the pencils, and I have both Graphitint pencils, which are also good. If you're going to ask for both, you can ask for both Graphitint pencils and the Derwent Graphitint pans, and they look like watercolor pans. They come with a little water brush inside and a sponge. Call Dad.
Here's a reminder. Call Dad.
Sorry, guys. Every day at noon. You can tell when I film my videos. Bum, bum.
Here's a reminder. Call Dad.
Okay, moving on. This is what they look like once they were swatched. They're very vibrant colors, but they are graphite. I'm not sure about their light fastness. I understand now that they're a little more light fast than I thought. But anyway, we can go back to my review on these and it'll tell you more. The water brush is kind of nice to have in there. It fits together. It has a plug in the fillers portion. The sponge is to wipe your brush off on. And it's got a good size mixing area. So they're very nice. You could take them out urban sketching or whatever, and they'd be a nice fit with your pen sketches. So taking something like that with you, along with a little sketchbook, a pen, a pencil, and this, and you are all set for your day out without any problem. So I do recommend all of those. They're really, really excellent. The next thing is, if you're looking for some iridescent paints, I'm not talking glitter paints, but iridescent paints, Finetec makes a good set for golds, and this is my gold set. It also has a pearlescent color along with it, but it is a set of 6 colors. Here they are swatched, and they're great for doing borders around cards, for adding a little bit of pizzazz to a greeting card, something like that, or even a painting. But they're nice to have. And if you want to refill, these little cakes pop out, I believe. Nope, they pop out. They have a little button on the back, and they fit into the little button here. So you can replace the colors as you need them and then pop them back in. So they're very nice to have. And I don't use them this often, but they are good to have. I used them for some Christmas cards recently. I have an older set, which is a color set of 10, I believe, 2, 4, 6, 12 colors. And that's where I started. And I still have these. And this is a disposable pan set. But the colors are very pretty. They don't totally match exactly what you see there. I'll show you the swatch. Here is the swatch of the colors that I made. I guess they're pretty close. Very pretty. So you have different color choices on this one. There is no gold in it, though. It's more of a coppery color than a gold color. But anyway, you can mix your colors too. I've used the pearlescent color and then mixed some of my watercolor in with it to make a different color. That works as well. So those are also good choices. If you like making greeting cards, something else that I would invest in is something called a bone folder. Bone folders are very inexpensive. This one is by Provocraft. It's about 25, 30 years old. I really need to clean it. It's got glue on it and stuff like that, but I use it regularly for folding paper. They used to be made of bone, but now they are made with plastic, so they're very nice to have. Another good stocking stuffer. Another one that would be awesome would be Dr. P.H. Martin's bleed-proof white ink, which far surpasses any white gouache that you'll find on the market, because you can get this so opaque you never have to go over it twice. I use this more than I use white gouache. Now when I'm gouache painting and I'm doing a painting in gouache, I will use my white for mixing my colors and that kind of thing, and I use my white for snow and different things. My favorite white gouache would be M.Graham. I understand now that Winsor & Newton makes a large tube. I got a large tube of black from them recently, and it was fine. But I do love I do love M.Graham's gouache. Their gouache is just so creamy smooth, very, very light fast. I don't have to worry about the light fastness on any of them. But the one color that I absolutely love by Winsor & Newton and has to be in my repertoire is Linden Green, which is a yellow green. It's got just a hint of green to it. Now you really don't need it. You could use a light yellow and mix that with your green to get a pretty color like that. And then by Holbein, there's another color that I love, which is called Ash Blue. I have a brand new tube somewhere, but this is Ash Blue by Holbein, and it's like a blue-gray, and it's great for stormy skies and that kind of thing. It's very, I'm trying to focus here. There we go. It's very, very, very pretty, as you can see there. So I use it a lot, so that stays in my bin. But if you wanted to start out in gouache and you want to invest in some good gouache, the starter set by M.Graham is really good. It either has 5 or 6 tubes, and you get all your primaries plus a black and a white, and you might get a brown, like a burnt sienna or something like that, but I can't remember for sure. But you'll get all your primaries as well, which is really nice to have. I love, absolutely love and adore sable brushes and squirrel brushes. My squirrel brushes I like in a mix with Rizlan. The silver black velvet brushes you can get in a set, so that I had some bigger scripts. But these are squirrel and Rizlan mixed. They have a little bit of synthetic hair in them, so they do wear out over time. My all-time favorite studio brushes are my DaVinci Maestro brushes, which are Kolinsky sable. If you get red sable, you're going to get a lower quality sable that does not hold as much water or hold its point as well. You want to get Kolinsky. The difference in the name is the different type of weasel that is used that comes from different areas of Russia. Kolinsky sable comes from a northern area of Russia, which is very, very cold. So the sable hair is much more absorbent and nicer and holds its point. When you get to the other red sables, they're further south in warmer areas of the country, and they are not as nice. They don't have as thick a fur, each hair, you know what I mean? But the DaVinci Maestro brushes are terrific. If you were to get one brush, I would suggest the DaVinci Maestro number 8. They have beautiful fine points, so you can pretty much do an entire painting with just one brush. But I would love to get bigger ones. I just can't afford them. They're pretty expensive. Now, if you are a synthetic person and you want some travel brushes, I found these on Amazon not too long ago, and I think I reviewed them. But one is called the Funo brush? I forget. This one is a pack of 3 brushes. I'll have to look them up in my orders to find out. And this is a 3, 4, and 5. And they're really nice golden Taklon brushes. And they're okay holding the tips. They're not as tight as I would probably like. Here's an 8. And this one is even bigger yet. This one is a 12. So you get nice big brushes. I do like these. They're very nice. And they come in their own leather pouch, which is really nice to have as well. You can keep them tucked away. They just have a tuck belt and they'll fit right in your kit very well. But I wanted some smaller brushes, so I found this one called Eval, E-V-A-L, and this one has a Velcro pouch and has 5 brushes, and I think they're 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Yes, and they're numbered on the outside of the brush. I'm sorry, my thumb is partially dislocated all the time, so I have a lot of trouble pulling things apart. They're not that hard to do. And these are also golden Taklon. They have a wooden barrel on them, and then of course they stick into the back. And they go 5 all the way down to size 1. And this is the size 1. So if you want some synthetic travel brushes, these would be great. I got these primarily for gouache, but I tend to use a lot of flat brushes for gouache. So I use these also for watercolor, and they work just great. What's next? Oh, the next thing would be, many of these things you've seen me review previously on my channel, but another one is made by Maria at Expeditionary Art, or you can find her at art.toolkit.com. She has great small palettes, and I think she's coming out with a bigger one very soon. It has not been released yet. If it has, it's just been released and I don't own it, but I don't know if I will or not, but I have 2 of her smaller ones. One is a business card size palette, and then one is the half business size palette, and I have both of them with extra pans so that I can change out my pans at any time. And this is one of my setups that I use Daniel Smith colors for, and I use the full pans. These are called standard pans. They're about 1 inch long, as you can see by my finger here. You get an idea for how big these pans are. But that's one of them. And then this one uses the little half pans. And I have 1 full standard pan in there along with the rest. I think this one was turquoise, and I was doing a lot of water at the time, so I took this one with me. These are great if you're wanting to run out the door and you want to just take a quick travel kit along with you. You can grab a pencil, a small little a water brush, and a small little sketchbook, and just jam it into your bag and you're on your way. They're very great. So I would recommend her for those small palettes. She has reasonable prices. There are a lot of people on the internet that do sell them nowadays, but I like hers. Now, another thing that I wanted to share with you. People are constantly asking me about my porcelain palettes. This one is a common one. I'm sorry, they're a little bit dirty. This one is a common one I get asked for. It's very large. It takes up quite a hunk of table space. I'm looking for my rulers right now. It is about 12 inches across at its widest point. So just so you're aware. And then the depth at its widest point would be about 7 inches. So this you can get at Jackson Art in the UK. So if you wanted it for Christmas here, I don't know if you would get it in time, because in the US, Jackson Art is very slow at getting their stuff out. My first one came broken. I had to have it redone, and I was not too pleased. And then the next one I got in like 48 hours. very interesting. First one took like 5-6 weeks, something like that. But there are many that you can get on Amazon. Here's one, standard one that you can get, and these are great to have. I like these a lot. They have 5 slots. Now there are some that are bigger, but I think a lot of the bigger ones are plastic. So I'm not sure. You might be able to find a bigger one on Amazon for those. This is another one that I got. That's a nice small size palette. This one is, let me grab my ruler again. I think this one's about 5-6 inches. 6 inches square. So it's the same up and down. It's a square palette, and that's nice. It's got 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 mixing wells, and it's kind of nice to have. These two seem to be my go-tos, though. This one is another square palette. It has nice size areas for mixing. The mixing areas, the big ones are 3 inches. The small ones are 2 inches. And the palette itself is 7 inches square. So I really like this one a lot. I use it quite often. I used to use my footprint palette all the time. And I'll still use it when I'm doing big paintings. I like to have a lot of mixing area, and I will use my bigger mixing palettes. But then another one that I like is this little one. It took me a while to get it. It was out of stock. I think I had to cancel my order with somebody, and then I ordered it through another company. I believe that's what I did. Can't remember. But anyway, it did. I did finally get it. And it is 3.5 inches deep by 7 inches wide. So about half of this. If you want to get a perspective there. It's about half of one of these. So anyway, those are my favorite mixing trays, and I use porcelain primarily. One reason, they're very simple to clean. You can get all the color off of them, and there's no staining involved. The other reason is that they don't bead up when you're mixing. Your colors always lay really fine. Now, another thing is this palette that I just showed you the other day. This one, will take you very long to get here, and it's not going to make it by Christmas even if you ordered it today. They have different sizes. You can find them on Instagram at ant.palette, ant.palette, and Hexa and Peter are the ones that make and sell these palettes. Now, I went over mine with some steel wool to take some of the roughness off of the wood, and then I used paste wax over it to finish it so that I was sure that nothing will penetrate this wood. It seemed very bare when I got it, and I'm not complaining at all, but I wanted it to be sealed very well. Now this one is the one with magnets. They make them also with hinges so that they just open like this, but I thought it was kind of cool to have the option to take it apart. If I only want to use half on my studio or half out in the field, I can, but I wanted to use this for gouache on one side and watercolor on the other side. I have all my watercolors here with my little swatch card, and then I use this side for my gouache. And I just lay out what I need, just a very little. So I've left that color in there. It'll reconstitute, but these are very, very nice. This palette, I think, was $95. And I don't know if I paid for shipping or not. I can't remember. I think I did pay for shipping, but it took 3 months to get here because of COVID. So normally something from Russia only takes about 4 weeks to arrive. Forgot one other thing that I think is a great thing to have in the studio, very inexpensive. I got mine for Christmas one year, and I absolutely love it, and it is a laminator. This one is called Zoomio, and you can probably, gosh, my nail's a mess. You can probably not find it anymore, because it was one of those, Chinese companies or whatever. But laminator machines are very inexpensive. You can get them for about $20 to $35, and then get a packet of sheets to go along with it, and you're all set to go. And that way you can laminate all of your palette swatch cards for your palette. Another thing to find, if you want to buy from handmade artisans, like people over on Etsy. A person that I got a great leather gift from was Darryl Standing. He makes beautiful cases for artists. This is one that I got, and it holds pencils, brushes. I put brushes in the center, and then I put everything else that I need along the sides. Now, I have had a pencil fall out before out of the side, so I have to be careful with that and make sure my snaps are down real good, but I do like this a lot. And if you like leather goods, his are natural leather, so if you're vegan, you're not going to find what you want from him. But this is a beautiful pouch. You can get them in all different colors. Darryl Standing's store has all sorts of beautiful gifts that you can get. These pouches come in all different formats. This one's $89. It fits an A5 book and has different pouches. There's what it looks like closed. They are just gorgeous. You can have name tags put on them if you'd like, get them personalized. So if you'd like something that you normally would not buy for yourself, but you would like as a gift, these things could be the way to go. Here's one that holds brushes. It's a brush holder. I wanted one that held both brushes and other things. Here's something similar to mine. This one's $66. This one's big. And look at all the stuff that it holds. It's amazing. But go over to Etsy. His name is Darryl Standing. And he has some beautiful things. I love the green too. I almost got green. This one's another one for A5. And this is just a flap. It doesn't have a pocket, but it's got the pockets over on this side. These don't snap down. I'm trying to find mine to see what the cost was for mine. I don't know if this is it. I'm trying to find it open. No, I don't think that's it. No, it's just got two pockets on each side. No, that's not mine. But he's got beautiful, beautiful things. Maybe he does not make mine anymore. I'm not. Oh, here it is. It's called the Leather Roll. It's got the pockets on each side and then that for brushes in the middle. Here's a video. You can see exactly what it's all about. It's beautiful. And very inexpensive. $47 was not very expensive. I wanted a natural leather color, but I was almost ready to go for the green. And it's just such well-made product. His work is absolutely phenomenal. I'm not sure where he sells from, if he's in the U.S. or not, but I do love his stuff. He makes wallets. But, I mean, just look. Here's one in blue. This one's a brush. This is for long brushes, I think. For like oil brushes. Here's another one for an A5 sketchbook. Just beautiful. So, check him out. He's got 2 pages of items here. It's got belt clasp. All sorts of things. So that's his stuff right there. Many of you have been asking for updates on our house build, and I will get a tour done eventually, but right now they are bringing in the drywall delivery for our basement. We're finishing our basement. Those are our old doors. We're going to have new doors put on, French doors, but the delivery of the drywall is here, so that's pretty exciting. And we've had the foam insulation put in. I'll show you the basement later. Okay, some other things. If you have been wanting some beautiful picture books, not necessarily educational, but things that you can learn from other artists on, maybe get some tips from other artists, I've got some awesome, what I would call coffee table books for you. And I've reviewed some of these before, but One of the first ones, one of my favorites, is by one of my favorite artists in watercolor. His name is John Selmanen, and this book is called Master of the Urban Landscape, From Realism to Abstractions in Watercolor. And he describes his, my old Christmas card, he describes his art and how he got into watercolor, who taught him. He's got beautiful, beautiful work in here. I mean, just gorgeous, gorgeous detail. One of the things I really like is the way he does his trees. I always talk about this. Let me find one with trees in it. Here's a marching band. I mean, check this out. I mean, the work is just gorgeous. Isn't that beautiful? Look at the shadows on the white clothes. It's just gorgeous. And the reflections on the trumpets and tubas and everything, trombones. Beautiful. But let me show you his trees. Oh, here it is. Here we go. Here's one of them. He uses a ton of masking fluid, and his paintings are huge. I can't get the glare from the sun off, so I'm gonna have to tilt this. I mean, we actually have sun today, but look at the detail in these trees. Every hole from every leaf. I mean, it's just amazing what he does. But anyway, that's one of the books. It's an excellent, excellent coffee table book. I keep it on my coffee table here in the studio. I refer to it often. Then another one that I like, his work, is Thomas Schaller, and he's got a book out called Architect of Light, Watercolor Paintings by a Master. And this is the cover of the book. These were all bought on Amazon, and I'll try to make sure I link all of them. Hopefully they're all still available, but let me just show you some of his beautiful work. It's all about light, and I love studying people's work on light and shadow. So here's one of a deck or a bridge or something, and then some kids over here. I mean, his work is beautiful too. So if you like, you could probably look them up and see more of the pictures online. Here's some more architecture. Just gorgeous. Absolutely gorgeous. And I love this kind of stuff. So if you love this kind of stuff, this is another great book. These books aren't cheap. I got my John Selmanen one, the one I just showed you. I got that one for Christmas one year, and I believe I put the video on Instagram. I was so excited when I opened it. Then another one, and I have plenty of these on digital, but I prefer them in hardcover, are the Splash books. I think I own 7 or 8 of them, and each year the focus is something different. Splash 18 was all about value, celebrating light and dark. So, I mean, here's one of the pictures on the back. Just gorgeous work. And it's artists from all over, and they make sections in these books. Like one of them might be all botanicals, another one might be on, like, here's the contents. People on the Move is one, then Outdoor Vistas, Objects that Catch Our Eye, Pets and Friends, Scintillating Cities, Fabulous Faces, Still Life and Flowers, and that kind of thing. So that is how the chapters go. And then each one, this one's on the people, so the focus is on people. Then you get to beautiful vistas and places and that kind of thing. And each one has a little blurb on it. Like, for instance, this picture here, it just says who the artist is, where it was taken, Keiko Tanabe, in watercolor on 140-pound rough arches. And they give details like that in these books. It says, I'm primarily a plein air watercolor painter, and this painting was created 100% on site. I immensely enjoy painting outdoors for the multisensory experience and the total immersion in the scene that I choose to paint. This allows me to explore the source of my inspiration at many levels, thus helping me visualize what I want to achieve on paper. Although planning out a painting route to reach my destination is important, I let my intuition determine the path to get there. In the act of painting, I value the spontaneity that comes from confidence and genuine passion for the subject. And then other people talk about their painting style and that kind of thing. Now, this one is Splash 19, which is all on light. Illusion of Light. Of course, I had to have this one. I mean, look at this painting on the cover. Isn't that just gorgeous? And then this one on the back of fruits and vegetables. I mean, beautiful, beautiful. Oh, it's pumpkins and squash and that kind of thing. Here's some on people, the light on people. Look at that. Isn't that gorgeous? You can learn so much from these books. This one is Splash 20. I think this is last year's. Creative Compositions. This is all about your composition, choosing a composition. Look at this waterfall on the back. Gorgeous, gorgeous, gorgeous. But again, they're all put out in chapters. Here's Composition in Venice. And then somewhere else. Then you get toward the back. Here's Abstract Reality. That was a diver. Look at this one. Tennis ball and tinfoil. Isn't that gorgeous? I mean, all of it is just so beautiful. Oops, I just had a delivery. Yay. Grapes and a statue. Candles. There's so many different things that you can look at. There's one in here on glass. Look at these, the glass pictures. Just absolutely gorgeous. This one on light bulbs. I can't tell if I'm in frame. I think I am. Yeah, so anyway, these books are great. You can also get them on Kindle, much cheaper. So I do have several on Kindle, but I would probably go back and order more in hardcover because these books, I just stack them on my coffee table. Books that I have underneath, they're not as favorite, but like Winslow Homer paintings. There's all sorts of books that you can look at. This one is all on... This is the N.C. Wyeth and James Wyeth, Patriots and Pirates Portrayed in the U.S. And their work is very, very different, but these are all watercolor. I've even bought some used ones. The Artist in Nature, this one is Thomas Kincaid. This is his early work before he got into all that light and stuff. And his early work is very, very different. See? So some of his work was absolutely gorgeous. People give him a lot of crap for that light, his paintings in light or whatever that made him so much money. But he is not just that type of an artist. So I liked a lot of his work and had to get this book just so I could study some of his early oils. There's another one that's beautiful. Is it in frame? Yeah. So anyway, that gives you some ideas. It's going to be very long. It's going to take me a long time to edit. I want to get it out this week. Before Thanksgiving, somebody had requested because she said her children want to shop for her. So, Alina, I'm doing this for you and I'm trying to get it out for you fast. So I also have a Tiny Tuesday tutorial coming tomorrow, which is Christmas cards. So we got a lot of videos this week, so stay tuned. Oh, and for those of you asking about my shirt, I don't know if I can show you the back too. The Chosen is a television show. You can go ahead and download the app, The Chosen, on Android or Apple, and it is a show about Jesus' life. It is going to be 7 seasons. The first season came out last year. You can also follow them season 2 on YouTube with their filming. This is all the filming and payment of actors is done by donation. Anything you buy on their website helps to pay for filming. It's done totally independently so that they're not shot down by production companies and stuff. This guy is very talented, but he portrays the story of Jesus Christ in a very different way. All the stories are accurate. They have a lot of input from ministers, priests, scholars, everybody that sits around and makes sure they get everything right. But he takes it a step further and gives each one of the disciples a personality. So you get to see, get an idea fictionally what they might have been behind the scenes and how they interacted with each other aside from those Bible stories. So they're taking it 7 seasons. I advise you to go watch it. You can do it all for free, or you can give donations to them and pay it forward by letting people know about their channel. So it's really entertaining whether you're Christian or not. So go look for The Chosen on Android or Apple and in your Play Store, and download the app, and then you can watch the entire first season. The next season should be coming out in a few months. So everybody remember, be courageous, paint with wild abandon, and most of all, be kind to each other. Take care, everybody. God bless you. Bye-bye.